You're watching The Pastor's Perspective on the Redeeming Grace YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. To post videos.
We hear a lot about equipping the saints, and certainly here at RGBC we have a whole equip ministry. But I want us to think about equipping our children for current service and future service depending upon their age. We know from Ephesians 4, very familiar passage, but I think it bears repeating. We know that God has given teachers and others to the church to equip the saints so that we can do the ministry, so that you can have a whole congregation, a whole body of believers ministering, using their God-given spiritual gifts and their other talents and abilities for the glory of the Lord. And in Ephesians 4, verse 12, it says to equip the saints. Plural. Doesn't give us ages. Doesn't say 18 on up, or 18 and older, or 21 and above. But it says to equip the saints for the work of the ministry, for building up the body of Christ. And what I want to say to you, mothers, fathers, even those who maybe you've already raised children, maybe you don't have children, children watch everything. Children are probably the best witnesses in the world because they see everything. Mom and dads know this. This plays out at home all the time. They see everything, especially what you might not want them to see, right? But they see it all. Children are watching, and one of the things they're going to watch, mom and dad, they may never really say anything to you, but they're watching to see your attitude toward church. Not just if you get to church. That should be a given that we should be coming together to church. But they're watching to see what you're doing in church. Are you serving God? They may not come up to you and say, hey, mom, dad, I noticed that you are serving God in this way or that way. But they're watching it, they're seeing it, and they're catching it. And so I'm not sure when you think about serving God that you think about the impact it has and can have on your children. And again, even those that don't have children, they're watching everyone. And according to Titus 2, a church, a local body of believers should come together, and all that we do should be to benefit everyone else, not just self-serving. And so even if you don't have children, there are children in the church, young people in the church that are watching you. And all we hear about are all these statistics that keep coming out about children going off to college and quote-unquote losing their faith or going away from the faith, not attending church. Now, I don't want to get into all the theology behind this. Obviously, if somebody's truly saved, they can't lose their faith. We understand that. But what people are describing is this phenomenon of people that are growing up in church and then going out into college, or sometimes it's beyond college years. And by the way, just because your child goes to a Christian college, that's not a guarantee of anything. But then they go out, maybe they have a family of their own, and their church attendance is pretty lackluster. And mom and dad are trying to figure out, how did this happen? I mean, we went to church. Well, did they see you serve? And what did they hear you say about serving? Did they hear a zeal from you? Did they hear positive things about serving? Or did they not see you serve at all? Or did they see you serve but then hear you complain about serving? They pick up on all of it. And these are maybe the small things that are really large in the grand scheme of things that we forget as believers and as moms and dads. And so I don't know if we've ever really thought about the connection between our serving God visibly so our children can see the connection between that and bringing them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.